Hello and welcome to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. And in this video and a series of videos, we're going to be showing you how to save money motoring with 50 cost savers that are recommended by Car Mechanics magazine to save you some extra pennies in this cost of living crisis. This series will have its own dedicated playlist on the channel, and is not a magazine review as we would normally do. So without much further ado, let's get into the first 10 of these 50 cost savers. So the 50 cost cutters was compiled by Alan Anderson and Peter Simpson. So let's start with number 1. Gently does it. Most people know that, as a general rule, the easier you are on your car, the better it is, not simply for fuel economy, but also long-term reliability. While modern cars aren't generally as responsive to economic driving techniques as the carburetor-fueled cars of yesteryear, driving at a gentler pace still uses less fuel. It also causes less stress on car and driver and rarely adds significantly to journey times. Number 2. Yet give it some stick. There again, an occasional blast can be beneficial to clear out the cobwebs of a car that spends most of its life pottering around town and rarely reaching full operating temperature. Additionally, the diesel particle filters fitted to some Euro 4 and 5 diesels need a regular decent run, occasionally above 40 miles an hour for 20 minutes to burn off trapped soot. Number 3. Frugal fun. Reading the road more intensively so you don't unnecessarily brake, only to needlessly accelerate to re-establish your speed again, can become quite an enjoyable exercise. Especially when motoring cross-country. Many years ago, oil giant Mobil ran a special week-long economy run over some of the toughest roads and bleakest weather. Far from being a serene Sunday stroll, it was more like a 1,000-mile road rally, so not to incur a time penalty, and yet some astonishing fuel returns were achieved because there is an art to driving economically without adopting a dwindling pace. The last time it was run was in the mid-1980s. A mini-city achieved almost 65 miles to the gallon, Ford Sierra GL more than 45 miles to the gallon, and even a V12 Jag XJS managed to return virtually 23. Number 4. Keeping the momentum. The key to economy driving is to keep the momentum going by treating driving like a motorised chess game. And when you need to accelerate, merely tickle the throttle rather than flooring it. That's not our view, but also that of 3 times F1 champion Sir Jackie Stewart, who adopted a similar smooth, analytic approach when racing. For instance, it's best to pick up speed before tackling hills. So wide, wasteful throttle openings can be avoided. And isn't it silly to rush up to a red light when by backing off a bit it might just change by the time you arrive? Number 5. Hard slog. It's a common fallacy that the key to economy driving is to select top gear as soon as possible. On the right roads and speeds, certainly, but slogging along in top gear regardless can prove less economical due to the throttle openings required. In fact, it can be a better policy to downshift for a few seconds on a whiff of throttle. Worse still, excessive labouring along can prove seriously detrimental to the engine and drivetrain. The green arrow change-up light on most 2010 cars is a pretty good guide to when you should change gear. Number 6. Short-changed. Short journeys such as a school run are horrendous fuel wasters. If you don't believe us, then if your dashboard possesses an average miles per gallon readout facility, just look how even a diesel engine gulps from a cold start for the first 5 miles. So if possible, think about any short trips you have to take. And if your offspring can't walk to school, maybe take turns with other parents to transport the car full. Number 7. Air isn't free, but today most cars have air conditioning that's fully integrated, meaning switching it off might not save you the 2 to 3 miles per gallon it once did, when aircon was in effect a bolt-on optional extra. There may still be a saving to be had though, try it and see. Opening windows though might lose almost as much as you gain through the car being less aerodynamic. Run the aircon occasionally to prevent seizure and refrigerant loss through seals, etc. drying out. Number 8. All tooled up. Being a car mechanics reader, you're a practical sort who probably carries a few tools around with you. That's fine, but don't take the entire workshop, as it results in unnecessary weight that needs more power and fuel to lug around. Also, do you need that roof rack or luggage bars in place 24/7, creating more drag? I confess I'm actually guilty of that because I've got a trolley jack sitting in the back of my car. It's probably not necessary. And my wash buckets, which again I could just put in the shed. I could put a trolley jack in the shed and I'd have an empty boot. So maybe I'll need to go out and have a wee look and see what I can get out the back of the car. On a cruise, number 9. If your car has cruise control, use it. As it's surprising how motorway speeds can unintentionally fluctuate. By keeping a set pace, you're bound to get the most miles per gallon for your money. And finally in this part, it's number 10, idle talk. Everyone knows that fuel used by an engine that isn't moving is fuel wasted. But do you actually bother switching it off if stuck in traffic for more than a couple of minutes? You should. And with modern fuel systems, any momentary extra fuel usage on warm startups is negligible. So, that is the first 10 on our cost cutters. And we shall return in a couple of days' time with parts 11 to 20. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV, and we'll catch you in the next part of Cost Cutters.